A major movie production was poised to join an 11th team, an unprecedented endeavor. The drivers' meeting, traditionally a closed and sacred session, extended a surreal invitation to the newcomers. Initial skepticism surfaced as Hollywood figures entered the scene, given that racing drivers are typically single-minded and intensely focused. Yet conversations with Brad, Damson, Joe, and Jerry clarified that their presence aimed to reflect the driver's skill, commitment, bravery, and courage, a message that resonated deeply and was well received. Kosinski noted that once the team explained their purpose, the partnership was embraced, and the drivers proved fantastic, even open to cameo appearances as themselves. The project benefited from a blend of team owners, team principals, and drivers taking part in the film. Idris described the red flag portion of the movie as a suspenseful moment, heightening the sense of uncertainty about what would happen next, the worst possible feeling for those involved. Bruckheimer recalled an on-track accident that forced all teams back to the pits to prepare for another run. A crew member announced the red flag, signaling the culmination of the entire movie. The call to build a car came next, as every team contributed vehicles and drivers. Lewis Hamilton appeared among the actors, adding excitement to the collaborative effort. The participants were deeply embedded in the environment, and the scene was said to unfold tremendously well, conveying the realism of the experience. The moment on the racetrack felt like a theater performance witnessed by thousands of spectators, intensified by the presence of Brad, real cars, and real drivers, which generated a significant adrenaline rush. The consensus was that the outcome depended on the racing gods and a collective belief in the moment. Idris noted a packed stadium and the ongoing activity of other drivers and racing teams who perform their weekly routines while the film crew attempts to capture their process. On-set dynamics included moments of pressure and candid exchanges about performance. The absence of wind machines on a large soundstage highlighted the authenticity of the outdoor setting, where paddock-to-paddock travel meant cameras were omnipresent, contributing to an immersive atmosphere. The choreography required meticulous timing, with long pre-shoot meetings establishing the movements before each race segment and subsequent debriefs to assess performance. The artistry lay in the realm of possibility, exploring how to maximize time for Brad, Damson, and the professional drivers to execute key narrative beats, a collaboration that integrated Formula One operations, the FIA, promoters, and teams. Tim Bampton served as the liaison between the film and the sport, a demanding and complex role supported by extensive logistics and substantial equipment. The scale of the production was extraordinary, with hundreds of millions of dollars worth of gear mobilized ahead of a race weekend and background work conducted by various teams. The logistics achieved a remarkable feat, described as miraculous, with embedded access to the teams and their environments. Cook and Kim prepared to build a car under Carlos Sainz's watchful eye, while a performer voiced anticipation for a memorable bit of dialogue once the car was ready. A moment occurred when a crew member's line about music underscored a key scene as Lewis, playing himself, interacted with mechanics belonging to different teams. Although Lewis's packed schedule necessitated shooting some sequences without him, he arrived promptly to join the action, delivering an impressive on-screen presence. A red flag sequence unfolded, with a participant stepping out of a vehicle, facing Damson in a tense exchange that inspired awe in the cast. Pride emerged from the collaboration, with one participant expressing strong satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. Bruckheimer recalled a crowd of tens of thousands gathered on the grid, where actors and cars stood alongside famed drivers and teams, creating a spine-tingling, memorable atmosphere. The overall result was described as truly special, culminating in a thunderous cheer from the crowd. The history of Formula One is filled with stories of teams emerging unexpectedly, innovating, or performing miracles to achieve victory. This dynamic closely parallels the filmmaking process. Although Formula One teams and movie crews might appear to be entirely different entities, beneath the surface, many operational similarities exist. Both rely on the ability to pivot and respond rapidly to new and unforeseen challenges. One crew member found the job completely unique, never imagining recording dialogue at a live Formula One track. The environment was hostile due to all the noise, radio frequencies from cars, and other film crews. Various technologies, such as Simon RFs and Cobham video transmitters, were used to transmit car sounds back to the sound team. Contributions from the electrical department, props, and costume teams were vital in facilitating sound capture on the project. The filmmakers aimed to provide audiences with the perspective of being inside a Formula One car, capturing the feeling through sound. Every available tool was used to achieve this immersive experience. Recording units had to be placed on cars that lacked storage space, as there was barely enough room for the driver. A production element featured 16 different camera angles on the car, including the first ever remote camera capable of turning and moving. The cameras were cutting edge, featuring 4K quality, 360-degree motion, full rotation, and specialized shots that captured details such as tire bumps and steering wheel movement simultaneously. Footage was received from the cars via signals beamed to receive sites around the circuit and routed back to mission control. The exceptional picture quality enabled directors to see exactly what they needed, with precise depth of field, thereby enhancing their creative control. Custom software was developed to interface with the cameras and lens controls on the cars. Every radio frequency component was specifically engineered to fit the car. It was crucial that the equipment not only be installed but also withstand driving at speeds of 200 miles per hour while managing vibrations to ensure the image remained stable. Manual vibration isolation adjustments were made depending on tire type and track roughness. The presence of experts pushing technical limits enabled the team to explore new possibilities within safety margins, producing remarkable results. Months of rehearsals and testing occasionally yielded unexpected but favorable outcomes. The cars driven by the lead actors became extensions of their characters, deepening the immersive quality of the film. A notable stunt involved a remote-driven, unmanned car crashing at nearly 100 miles per hour, controlled by a stunt driver. This ambitious stunt was filmed in 2 shots, with visual effects completing the spin and stop sequence featuring the main character. Being part of a Formula One team involves hundreds to over 1,000 specialists working in their areas toward one common goal, getting the car and driver across the finish line first. Similarly, movie production brings together hundreds of specialists collaborating to create a single moment. The film's production involved significant innovation to capture its unique style. Often, challenges during filming led to solutions that ultimately made the film better than initially envisioned. A global Formula One project unfolds through visits to real locations around the world, capturing the authentic flavor of each place rather than fabricating a single locale. Different tracks are explored to portray the distinct environments that define the sport. The production benefits from a close partnership with Formula One, which provides unprecedented access and support. The team sets up a garage for Apex GP between Ferrari and Mercedes at the Silverstone Grand Prix, a placement seen as extraordinary and almost unbelievable. Silverstone's pit layout places the Apex car at the epicenter of the action, allowing for immersive footage within the actual event. Formula One teams are notably supportive, with access to team garages and guidance on operations, logistics, and other behind-the-scenes aspects. The production design yields an Apex garage that replicates a real Formula One garage while maintaining a unique look and feel consistent with the team's identity. The design is praised for its meticulous detail, including fully stocked drawers, authentic monitors, and data that reflect real Formula One setups. Interest from participants grows as the set's realism informs performances. Actors report that the authentic environment helps shape their portrayals, particularly in moments where the scene setting is central to the narrative. The crew gains access to both front-of-house and back-of-house areas, offering a comprehensive view of operations that few get to see. The level of access and visibility earns admiration from others in the sport, serving as a strong endorsement of their abilities. Key moments include experiences with Mercedes and McLaren staff and facilities, as well as admiration for the Apex Garage, which has received praise from prominent figures in the sport. There is a sense of validation in the proximity to real teams and environments. Locations shift to McLaren headquarters for exterior shots of the Apex factory, followed by Mercedes for the factory floor and Williams for the wind tunnel. Each site reveals an aesthetic connective tissue, making different spaces feel like parts of one larger world rather than separate locations. The project emphasizes authenticity from the outset, with a commitment to shooting in real facilities where actual Formula One cars are tested. Williams provides a 60% scale model of the Apex track car to calibrate the wind tunnel, highlighting the importance of production realities for accuracy. Behind-the-scenes access extends to Mercedes and McLaren's secret spaces, including their driver training simulators, which supply unparalleled behind-the-scenes material. Actual team employees participate in scenes, enhancing realism. Formula One's diverse race venues contribute to unique atmospheres, including Silverstone's rich history, the energy of the stadium in Mexico City, the famous Eau Rouge and Ride Elan turns at Spa, and the futuristic feel of Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi. Each location adds a distinct quality to the footage and overall mood of the project. Filming in Silverstone offers a cold, windy day with a palpable sense of history. The experience includes reflecting on the significance of shooting a scene on such a storied track. Personal connections to Silverstone arise from past moments and performances there. The Mexico City Stadium delivers electric energy with large crowds, while Spa's Eau Rouge presents a dramatic, breathtaking challenge. Las Vegas provides a sci-fi ambience on the Strip at high speed, and Abu Dhabi conveys a sense of stepping into the future through its architecture and scale. The overall experience blends exceptional access with a dedication to authenticity, allowing the cast and crew to feel like part of the Formula One world. By the end, what began as a highly controlled shoot evolves into a sense of ownership and belonging within the sport's broader ecosystem, with many laughs and a growing sense of familiarity. Filming across the world during race weekends as the 11th team has been transformative and rewarding, marking a remarkable journey. Brad and Damson had evidently driven faster than nearly any ordinary person ever would, a truth spoken with conviction and honesty. The journey had traced a path from dirt bikes to MotoGP, then veering into Formula One, culminating in the present moment. Idris, before any audition, spent time on a simulator and even created a character in an F1 game named Joshua Pierce, a private manifestation of the path that was now materializing. Bruckheimer noted that Brad trained for 3 months alongside Damson to master the cars, highlighting both men as phenomenal athletes whose physicality was extraordinary. The team mentioned the involvement of Craig Dolby and Luciano, who guided Brad and Damson around tracks at astonishing speeds, teaching the basics of lap navigation, comfort, and consistency at high velocity. The practice then moved closer to real cars, focusing on gaze direction and reaction. Brad was described as extraordinarily talented, while Pitt remembered Luke as an F2 world champion, emphasizing the wealth of knowledge available. The collaboration with Damson Idris had been remarkable from the start, with Damson pushing boundaries in ways that impressed the crew. Luciano and Craig, in particular, instructed Idris on how to walk and talk like a driver, leaving him grateful for their guidance. Brad and Damson accumulated substantial seat time, perhaps as much as any driver in the championship. Inside the car, the experience was intense, requiring the execution of a single lap while memorizing lines and choreography. When Brad and Damson drove, they appeared to fight the car, contending with G-forces, maintaining focus with determined eyes. Hamilton observed that both performers had undergone a mental and physical challenge, noting the rapid intake of information and the bodily effects, such as brake strength and G-forces, which could not be faked. Pitt described the feeling of downforce as unlike any other. Sigrist remarked that every time Damson entered the car, he would likely drive at an insanely fast pace, and that consistent high-speed laps were essential to condition his neck against the G-forces. A distinction emerged between Brad and Damson in terms of focus. Brad possessed a greater mobility component, while efforts continued to strengthen critical areas, including the mid-back, shoulders, abdominals, and neck. Bruckheimer explained that while actors were cast, the production still needed to build the cars. Mercedes had designed a sleek, beautiful car for the film, and the audience would be shown its elegance. Pitt stated that a Mechachrome F2 car was used, with no power steering and a stretched profile. The aero package came from Mercedes, and the team modified a Formula 2 chassis with a Formula 2 competition engine, extending it by 200 millimeters to resemble a Formula 1 vehicle. Kosinski described an Apex car that was electric, ideal for pit stops, reconfigurations, and repeated practice. Electric F2 engines were finicky, making repeated restarts challenging. Kelly noted 25 pit stops in one session, suggesting that an actual Formula 1 car would have failed under similar strain. Kosinski added that they might possess the first and only electric F1 car, a tool of immense value. In total, 12 cars were built, including crash cars. Bacchetta estimated that the production had achieved the equivalent of 2.5 Formula 1 seasons of driving since its inception. In terms of speed, the crew believed the film's car chases might be among the fastest ever captured on screen. Idris expressed a newfound respect for real drivers and the lifelong dedication behind their craft beyond the track itself. He also acknowledged the people off the track, the builders and engineers whose work brought these machines to life, and saluted their contributions. A narrative unfolds about a film production at Silverstone, where table reads are not a given, even when the story is set there. The participants reflect on whether the Silverstone setting necessitates a table read, ultimately recognizing that such a read is not a mandatory right. The introspective thoughts during the table read center on avoiding professional repercussions, while the room remains filled with chatter and laughter. The author recalls visiting Silverstone since youth, having once waited tables there, and notes the surreal yet exciting return as equals among remarkable, talented individuals. Brad and Javier appear in the scene, accompanied by Carrie. Names and roles blur into a humbling pinch-me moment, underscoring the magnitude of the collective production. For the speaker, the experience feels like reaching the pinnacle of the process, with no higher form of a table read imaginable. The day is described as fantastic. The mood shifts to admiration and astonishment, with the set feeling both mad and relaxed, at ease, despite the momentousness of the occasion. The anticipation of a table read builds. Then Joseph announces that a script will be provided and a table read will take place, an outcome that leaves the speaker stunned and determined not to let the opportunity slip away. Pressure intensifies, yet the desire remains to perform well, recognizing this as one of the most significant opportunities of an acting career. Welcome and excitement punctuate the moment as the group prepares to begin. Introductions follow around the table, with Joe Kosinski, Brad, Javier, who portrays Ruben, Kim, Kaspar, Carrie, Kate, and Damson Idris, Joshua, contributing to the moment. The ensemble experiences a mix of humility and pride, even opting to wear reading glasses to feel more at ease. Jerry Bruckheimer praises the phenomenal cast and director, expressing gratitude and anticipation for the project to move forward. The mood is buoyant, with an expectation of fun to come. Kosinski remarks on the collaborative energy that has driven the project from its inception, noting the immersive nature of the film. The cast travels the world, participates in real races, and develops into a cohesive team, forming a genuine camaraderie that feels like family. A warm, shared energy permeates the production, described as a nice vibe and a sense of connection among all involved. The sense of family and long-standing familiarity among cast members becomes a comforting, nearly magical aspect. Bodnia expresses affection for the team, highlighting the energy and love he feels toward his colleagues. There is a strong sense of family among them, formed through long-standing connections and a shared mission. The commentary emphasizes that the movie embodies a collective spirit with unity and mutual support as its guiding forces. The team's dedication and passion are celebrated as they strive to realize their best work. Menzies speaks to the excitement and dedication that have marked the collaboration, describing the experience as a heartfelt tribute to the sport. Shooting high and aiming for excellence are highlighted as particularly rewarding aspects of the process. Teamwork and friendship emerge as central themes, underscoring the film's exploration of relationships and collaboration. The journey of the characters through challenges to a united conclusion is celebrated as a brilliant and enjoyable project. Pitt commends the cast for their commitment, noting their year-and-a-half involvement and the support they provided. Merrick reflects on a deep, enduring bond that has formed among the team, describing the experience as magical. Cook reflects on the reward of meeting familiar faces across different projects, a common and gratifying aspect of the industry. As the production progresses, the call to bring it all together is echoed, with Kosinski revealing that the movie required 18 months of filming. The friendships and connections forged during that period are highlighted as strong and enduring and expected to be visible on screen. A narrator explains that the subject possesses Lewis Hamilton's email address. The idea's origin involved emailing Hamilton to propose a film set in this world, with a goal of creating the most authentic racing film possible, and asking Hamilton if he would be interested in contributing. Bruckheimer states that Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, is the top driver, making his involvement essential. Joe and Jerry invited the creator to participate, and the opportunity was seized, igniting the project's trajectory. Hamilton recalls receiving the script and meeting with Joe and Jerry to stress the importance of authenticity. Kosinski notes that Hamilton lives and breathes the racing world, and authenticity was a shared priority for both of them. Hamilton was considered the perfect guardrail to keep the story legitimate, offering a perspective that no prior film had captured, both in terms of speed and realism. Hamilton observes that many Formula One and racing films struggle to convey speed and racing accurately, and filming at real races would be unprecedented. He highlights that Maverick's technology, adapted and advanced for this project, enables a level of speed capture beyond typical race footage, with cameras so small they are barely visible on the other car. The result is a raw, real-time sense of speed that makes viewers feel as if they are inside the car, surpassing the experience of weekend broadcasts. Kosinski explains that Hamilton contributed to every step, from creating the story to writing the script and advising on gear for specific turns, such as Turn 6 at Silverstone. Pitt describes Hamilton correcting gear selections by sound, ensuring accuracy in how a car should be operated. Kosinski affirms Hamilton's role as an invaluable resource throughout the process, which eventually led to assembling a cast that could become pit crew members through training and travel to various races. The casting aimed for diversity, including an aerodynamicist who also works in strategy and a woman mechanic in the pit stop to inspire audiences to see themselves in such roles. Kosinski recounts meeting female engineers while interviewing Formula One team personnel who inspired the project. The depiction of Kate riding her bike to feel the wind and better grasp her responsibilities in the car drew inspiration from a Mercedes engineer, with collaboration from Bernie Collins, an Irish woman who formerly held the same position. Hamilton comments that racing audiences see only a car circling, yet many stories lie within the sport. Pitt adds that the film reflects a lifetime of highs and gut-wrenching losses, revealing more than just the sport itself. The narrator notes the initial astonishment at working with Brad Pitt, who brings substantial depth to the character of Sonny and possesses the capability to drive the portrayal. A forthcoming viewing experience is anticipated, with Pitt embodying what it takes to be a racing driver. The piece emphasizes that Formula One drivers are genuine athletes, a point Hamilton wanted emphasized in the film. It covers the physical demands, including heart rate, cardio under high G forces, and the extensive challenges of resisting multiple Gs through sustained turns, as well as how these realities are portrayed in the film. The mental challenges, rapid information processing, and bodily effects are highlighted as essential elements that the film communicates. The film is described as the most authentic racing movie ever made, with the speed and drama integral to the storytelling. Viewers are expected to feel the grit and competition between the drivers, gaining a sense of what it is like to be a racing driver. Ultimately, the narrative aims for audiences to experience even a fraction of what Hamilton feels during a Grand Prix. Pitt acknowledges that the project benefited from Hamilton's expertise and integrity, asserting that the movie could not have been made without Sir Lewis Hamilton. The scene opens with the first moment of filming at Silverstone during race weekend, in front of a crowd of 120,000 fans. The moment conveys a sense of awe as the team recognizes they are creating something that will stand the test of time. The experience feels surreal, punctuated by the crew's chant of Apex and the accompanying cheering. Silverstone is described as the birthplace of the first Formula One race and a place steeped in history. One participant recalls feeling as if they were on hallowed ground, stepping into a sport that is highly revered, and wanting to avoid getting in anyone's way. Filming begins at Silverstone with a promise to do justice to the subject. A tight partnership with Formula One is highlighted as essential. Without access to races and the track, many scenes could not have been pulled off. The team enjoys access to the national anthem and can stand beside the drivers. Several Formula One drivers participated in the film, and once they saw the project, they all joined in. The crew expresses gratitude to their partners for the access granted, noting the film's authenticity in representing racing. The journey from receiving the script to standing at Silverstone is deeply embedded in the environment, described as incredible. There is a focus on proving to F1 that the team could slot into the race weekend without disrupting programming, given the military-like precision and minute-by-minute timelines involved. The pressure to get everything right is acknowledged. Planning involved exhaustive consideration of contingencies and rehearsals, with the aim that nothing would compromise the race's integrity. The production is live, allowing for minimal takes and tight coordination. The process is likened to theater on steroids, demanding precision and the ability to nail performances. Performers experience nerves and pressure during pivotal moments, such as the national anthem, where proximity to Verstappen and other drivers heightens the stakes. The grid start presents further nervous energy, with many elements carefully planned but uncertain about whether they would work. The pressure on a single scene creates its own momentum and energy, and audiences are expected to feel that intensity. Coordination with the broadcast team ensures that the international feed remains clear and deconflicted with the on-track action, so home viewers would be unaware of certain on-grid appearances. The crew wears costumes to blend in with the event's surroundings, and the atmosphere on the day is described as incredible, with the crowd generating a loud and exciting noise. During the national anthem, Idris reflects on the moment, sharing a humorous exchange about whether to wear the race suit up or down. The day is remembered as a favorite on set, and the team acknowledges achieving something unprecedented in filmmaking, fueling a strong sense of unity and pride. A spontaneous chant of Apex arises, accompanied by goosebumps and a magical atmosphere. After the Silverstone race, the event is viewed as a test run that went remarkably well, leading to increased familiarity with the crew's presence and broader support from the sport. By the end, the team feels a sense of belonging within the racing world. The weekend culminates with Damson and Brad driving on the track in the filmed car, capturing footage for the story. The experience stands out as one of the most intense days on a film set, intensified by the crowd's energy, the presence of numerous F1 drivers, and the memorable moments shared with Damson and Brad. A racing movie's sound is celebrated as a great asset, and the team vows to deliver phenomenal audio that puts audiences inside the experience with a modern and emotional score they will feel. They plan to immerse viewers in the car with a score that amplifies every moment, pairing music with the roar of engines and the screech of tires to enhance the realism. Hans Zimmer is highlighted as essential, recognized as one of the greatest composers, while Kosinski notes Zimmer's deep involvement in both music and sound design, creating a tactile experience that is felt as well as heard. The production emphasizes authenticity, with Sir Lewis's involvement adding credibility and reinforcing the film's genuineness. The cast and crew are portrayed as deeply embedded in the racing environment, striving for the most authentic racing movie yet. Zimmer's conversations with Lewis inform the orchestra's direction, shaping how the music communicates being inside the machine and being that driver. A phrase signals the opening of the race, followed by the orchestra's response to the engine's sounds, shaping the emotional arc of the score. There is a sense of danger balanced with elegance, as the car sounds are described as music that Hans Zimmer captures in the score, blending musical crescendos with the machine's roars. Kosinski lauds Zimmer as a legend whose melodies linger in the listener's memory, expressing excitement for new material crafted for the film. The audience's reaction to sound crowd responses and emotional swell illustrates that sound is half the story, guiding how it feels and how the experience unfolds. Bruckheimer describes the music as emotional, exciting, and overwhelming, capable of evoking chills and evolving in tandem with the narrative. The score is depicted as a living element that develops with the story, growing warmer and more urgent as it progresses. Kosinski stresses that the music must feel powerful enough to immerse viewers in the sensation of piloting one of these extraordinary machines. Capturing and representing this atmosphere requires substantial effort, with the team aiming to cut through the ambient noise to reveal the music that the cars generate. The crew discusses crafting sound at Silverstone, aiming to create music that can still be heard above the noise and as part of the racing soundscape. Audiences would understand that the actual soundscape surpasses ordinary imagination, a unique mix of energy, crowd, and machine noise that fuels the experience. Kosinski notes that Formula One weekends deliver an incomparable energy. The crowd, the music, and the car sounds combine with anticipation to create a palpable atmosphere. Zimmer plans to make the cinema experience feel like a true race, emphasizing that sound complements visuals to convey a sense of realism. Hans Zimmer's contribution elevates the overall sound quality of the event, with Mazzaro acknowledging the emotional weight these races carry for drivers and the intent to honor that through the music. Bruckheimer notes the blend of melodies designed to make the film jump off the screen while preserving genuine emotion. Kosinski reflects on the collaboration with Zimmer, describing how a composer's idea can blossom into a rich orchestral piece, an experience every director would relish and one the film's team has been fortunate to share. Zimmer hints at a shift in approach, promising a distinctive, perhaps more fabulous direction that departs from previous expectations. The final moments juxtapose engines revving with the crowd's roar, signaling an operatic and gut-driven emotional arc that underscores the film's music. The scene was set at Brands Hatch, where the team recreated a corner to resemble Monza for filming an accident scene involving rookie driver Joshua Pierce. Months of rehearsals and tests had been conducted to ensure authenticity, a key priority for the director. The team planned to replicate the Peroni crash by launching a car 60 to 70 meters, aiming for it to land on the tire wall and fence area. A high-pressure ram charged with nitrogen propelled a metal slug down a line, aiming to reach a launch point, the pipe ramp, at a speed of 120 miles per hour. After the first test launch, it was clear the car needed an extra 20 feet to achieve the desired effect. With the added pressure of the launch, the car was sent soaring, unexpectedly traveling over 100 meters beyond the set and into the trees. This unplanned outcome was embraced as a fortunate accident, adding extraordinary realism to the film. Next, the crew worked to capture the experience of the car spinning. They installed Damson on a movable rig called a Rotor 360, which allowed adjustments to height, angle, and pitch, simulating the car's rotation through 5 complete revolutions. Damson enjoyed the intense experience, showing eagerness to repeat the stunt. In another scene, Brad drove the car to a stop amidst fiery hazards designed to feel overwhelming and realistic. A mix of propane and other fuels created a rich orange flame with thick black smoke resembling a fire. Safety protocols were strict. Damson was coached on how to signal any discomfort from heat. Experienced fire safety personnel stood ready to intervene if necessary, ensuring safety while maintaining realism. The fire tests, followed by discussions of real-life Formula One accidents such as Grosjean's crash, served as direct references for the film's stunt work. The team studied these incidents closely to replicate them as accurately as possible. Idris had an intimate conversation with Grosjean, who survived a similar crash, gaining insight into the mental state during such moments. This supportive environment helped the team push forward with confidence. Overall, the entire production was recognized as a remarkable success, highlighting the dedication and hard work of everyone involved in bringing these intense and authentic scenes to life.